Now, for all you parents out there, you may want to think again before you tell off your child for spending too much time on their video console, because our next guest is proof that racing on the screen can lead to big opportunities behind the wheels. 2.5 years ago, Jann Mardenborough had never really seriously competed in motorsport, but now the 22-year-old is going to be competing in GP3, kind of few rungs below Formula One, but still amazing. Welcome. So when you started playing on a console, were you a driver?
No, when I started playing on the console, I was a student on a gap year for university. So all my mates had gone off to Australia and I was at home playing PlayStation, and I entered Nissan GT Academy, and it's a competition where we find the fastest gamers on a game called Gran Turismo, and we see if they can hack it in the real life car.
So you had played Gran Turismo quite a lot, probably spent far too much time, yeah? How much time?
Well, before the competition, I would say maybe 2 hours a day every day, and which is not a lot really. But when the competition kicked off,
I think
5 hours a day.
Pictures of you competing, which we'll try and bring up, but would like to see you kind of going through it. Okay, so there's the competition going on there, and what are you? So what are you doing? You're reacting very quickly, presumably, to any changes in the kind of, you know, the sharp bends and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I mean, the skills you learn on the simulators and the games nowadays are very close to the real-life counterparts. So steering, brake and throttle inputs, how you control a car pitch and yaw-wise, are very similar to real life. They actually, games nowadays, take real-life data and implement it in code into these games, so it feels quite similar.
And Jann, so you hadn't driven when you started this? You weren't a driver, you didn't have a driving licence?
I had a driving licence, but I'd never driven a sports car, never driven on a racetrack. I was bottom step of the ladder. So
you're now doing GP3, and I've been to a kind of Formula One meetings where you see the GP3 kind of racing maybe before the Formula One. You're still going at quite a pace.
Yeah, these cars, they're over 400 horsepower and a lot of downforce, and yeah, proper racing car. Which
of course is the one thing you don't get from playing behind a video console, is the G-force of taking a bend at enormous speed.
Of course, it's an area where we have to train at Nissan with all the drivers. You have to obviously build up strength a lot on your neck and your upper back, because yeah, of course, at home you're just there, just driving around, and in real life you have to.
And what does it feel like if you're taking a corner at really great speed, or you are kind of braking very sharply before you go into a bend?
Well, it's a bit like someone pushing your head. If you go around a corner, it's someone like pushing your head the opposite way. So you really have to work on your neck to keep your head up, because you wear a helmet and the weight of your head anyway is quite heavy when you're doing 3G or 2.5G in a corner. It's quite, yeah, it's quite a kick on the body.
So, come quickly, while we've got you here, before we end, what's the ambition? Formula One?
The goal is for Formula One. That is the ultimate goal for me. And at the moment, I'm just going to push as hard as I can in GP3 and see where Nissan takes me. But yeah, I'll be pushing as hard as I could.
So, from this season, you're racing kind of more or less full time?
Yeah, it's full-time job. Full-time job.
Absolutely fantastic. You promise us you'll come back when you're a Formula One superstar.
No doubt.
Yeah? All right. Really good to meet you. Thank you very much indeed for being with us on the programme.